Going forward with my project and with my personal journeys and discoveries through this time of quarantine, I've decided that I want to try different ways of communicating my ideas and displaying what I'm trying to say. Within our blogs, we usually use a lot of text and image based, but I thought I would love to experiment with videos and speaking to you because this is something that I want to get better at. I want to get better at presenting and not feeling so nervous, especially that we're going online. I am going to try and record myself and have more video content on this blog going forward as different learning styles and ways to communicate my ideas other than text. Me personally being a severely dyslexic person, the way that I communicate my text onto my blog is actually speaking to it, like a conversation with me and my computer. So instead of just creating text, I'm going to just speak to you myself. Within this video here, I'm going to be talking about my idea that I have for my space. So I'm not going to be writing down what I have to say, I'm just going to explain it to you now. Within my space, we're using shipping containers, and inside I want to convey the idea of air pollution and show people how that necessarily feels and also how it affects you in a physical way. So with my imagery, I have this here which will also be linked above. It starts off with the shipping container, and on that will be a QR code, and those I experienced them during quarantine. Not during quarantine, through this pandemic and going back to work. You had to sign in at stores and you had to let people know where you are just in case someone comes down with corona, and one of the ways of doing that is having a QR code, scanning it, and it takes you to this app. That idea kind of stuck with me, and I wanted to incorporate that within my space. So it's on the door, you scan it, and then you download the app, and the app will come up with a few questions before you go into the space. Things like, what is your most popular way of transport? Is it car? Is it bus? Is it bike? Is it walking? Is it train? There's many others that I will include, but that's just what I have in my imagery. And you click what one that you usually use in the space. From that, and once everyone that your group has done the survey, you then enter into the shipping container. Now the shipping container is going to have like a gradient in it, so when you come in it will change to the gradient of the overall collective outcome of your group. So if most of your group bike and walk around or walk to work, then you will have a gradient from the yellow to green spectrum, saying that you care about the planet and your air pollution is low. But if most of the people in your group drive to work, you will be on the yellow to red to brown spectrum, showing that the air pollution is really bad and you need to do something about that. So in a group collectively, you'll be able to discuss and see who is trying to help and kind of having less impact on the planet with their way of transport compared to others, and you could talk about that. There's an image of a woman with a red screen. She uses a car, and that is impacted with that air pollution and is having a bad impact. So this is an area where I want to grow and figure out where I want to take this. And then pretty much after the group discussion, and once everyone has talked about and figured out different ways of changing their ways of work. So if this was in play, I had a green screen and this other person here had a red screen, I would talk to them and be like, oh, I bike to work every day. Is there another way of getting to work instead of driving? Is there a train station near you that you could use? Or are you close enough to the city where you could bike as well? Or can you carpool with someone and that would take down one car from the road if you're going to the same place, those kind of talks with each other to then overall lever out the field and everyone has like a green to yellow way of getting to work or way of transporting around, which then will end the whole experiment and situation because the virtual levels which are shown on the screens around you will change. So it will go from being like a red colour to a green colour, which means that you've been successful in changing the air pollution levels. So that's my overall idea at the moment. The things that I'm looking at changing is connecting the colours and the phone app to something on you so everyone else can see the outcome that you have given. So if I drive to work, when I go into the space, some sort of screen or something that is on me will light up red and then others will be green. So it's easier to point out where the pollution is necessarily coming from and work on that, as well as taking you off using your phone, because I feel in our society everyone's always on their phone. I think it's a positive and a negative, and I don't want it to be the main concept in my space. It will be used because this is a shipping container that will be moved around and everyone has a phone, so it's easy to connect them to my space, but I don't want them to do all of the interactive parts in my space on their phone. There needs to be another element that comes in to playing with the changing colours on the wall. But going back to the idea of the phone, I think it is a good idea because once you leave the space, you still have the app, you can do more research, you can understand more about air pollution, because sadly a lot of people don't understand and they don't know the effects of it. It's especially in places that it isn't so prominent, like New Zealand. We are very blessed to not have really much air pollution and the fact that our air is really lovely, but places like China where there's a lot of smog and there's a lot of factories that are putting out pollution really affects that. So yeah, this is my overall idea. I will give you another video update later on.